Donna. People may say that sometimes, but this is for Mayor Carr. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Mayor, helping us. And our county commissioners. Give that to County Commissioner Bell and Michael Rather there. But folks, I thought about what I'd say the past couple of weeks when Monty asked me to do this, and there's so many things that I could talk about, and just so little time. But I thought I'd share what I shared at the Tennessee State Capitol when this was launched. I had the opportunity to meet with Priscilla Presley this year. Priscilla Presley, Elvis's wife. It was really neat, and I didn't know what to talk to her about, so I asked her about Graceland. And I said, why did Elvis name it Graceland? She said, well, it was already named Graceland after the family that owned the property before them. So I told her, I said, well, last year, I think it was, or 2 years ago, Pastor Bill making Amazing Grace, the official state hymn. And I can tell you what inspired me about Amazing Grace was really, ironically, this courthouse right here. This courthouse that's beloved to all of us. I know it's beloved to our mayor, it's beloved to our county commissioners. It's beloved by me as well. There's a lot of history right here at this courthouse, a lot of history. The good, the bad, the ugly is what I say. But Amazing Grace, if you know about Amazing Grace, and if you don't know about Amazing Grace, I want y'all to go back and study it. There's a nice movie out there that was made years ago about William Wilberforce called Amazing Grace. But look how God used John Newton. He used John Newton, a former slave ship captain. How can God use a former slave ship captain to free slaves in Great Britain? And I started thinking about all the men and women that died right in here. A few that I know of, Mayor, I think a few were lost their lives inside this courthouse behind me. Thousands of men right in this radius right here lost their lives over slavery. You know how many lost their lives in Great Britain? Zero. And I really think that it was the story of John Newton, former slave ship captain, that God used to influence a lawmaker, William Wilberforce, who fought tirelessly for years and years to end slavery, 34 years before America did. But sadly, we lost roughly 680 to 700,000 young men. They said during the Civil War, after the Civil War, there was men just lost legs and arms. And it's just sad with the turmoil that our country went through. But the storms we had yesterday are also today, and some of those storms are mentioned in this proclamation here. The fentanyl crisis coming across our border, addiction, DCS. I see a young lady with a DCS sign. She's got 3 kids and she's trying to get back. Brenda Johnson. Sadly, the media hadn't covered that. 9,000 kids, folks, in DCS custody. 9,000. Why is that? Much of it's due to drugs, folks. Much of it's due to drugs. But I thought about what I'd say, and meeting with Priscilla Presley was really, other than meeting my wife, it was one of the coolest moments I had in my life, I'll say that. And I told her about Amazing Grace. And God lined that up for me because the proclamation is very politically incorrect if you go back and read about Amazing Grace. And people thought I masterminded this. The Lord masterminded it. The Lord had Senator Akbar, who's an African American out of Memphis, care it for me. I never spoke to her. The Lord just lined it up. But I did that so people know their history, know that we can't change football teams' names, change street names, to just hide the past. Some of the past is ugly, some of it's great, but we've got to know our history, like Edmund Burke said, or we're destined to repeat it.